latest release of Trump Raid Affidavit. And let's not forget, we have the latest in sports. Sunshine Girls climb to number 3 in world rankings as Trinidad and Barbados fall to 11th and 14th respectively. I'll have the details for you when I return.
Northern News Network. First in news, reviews, and interviews.
Now more than ever, Flow is working hard to keep you connected to the things that matter most. Your family, your work, and your favorite entertainment. We are also providing Flow Study free of charge so students can stay connected and up to date with their schoolwork. And because your safety is our highest priority, you can manage your account from the safety of your own home through the MyFlow app. We are here for you, keeping you connected.
Welcome back. I am Don Ezra Francois, Agriculture and Fisheries Representative to be elected. We get more in this Rikisha St. Louis report.
The selection of a new senator to represent the interest of the fishing and the farming communities in the Senate will take place on Tuesday. This is in keeping with Section 24, subsection 2C of the Constitution. 3 senators are to be appointed by the Governor General, acting in accordance with the advice of the Prime Minister. Agriculture and fisheries or marine resources continue to be one such sector where it is deemed necessary to have a senator appointed to the upper house of Parliament who will examine, assess, and promote government's policies relative to the agricultural, marine resources, and blue economy sector in the interest of the people they serve and represent. The selection process is scheduled for Tuesday, 16th August at 3 p.m. at the Duluth Cinema, Grenville. Individuals and organizations are required to present a valid farmer or fisher's registration card or ID. Mr. Fitzroy James will supervise Tuesday's activity.
Thank you, Rikisha. Prime Minister Honorable Dickon Mitchell, Minister Joseph Andel, and Minister Andy Williams were among guests of honor celebrating 75 years of India's independence with Grenadians and the Indian diaspora community. The auspicious occasion was marked with a ceremony to celebrate and award recognition to 5 outstanding citizens and a flag-raising ceremony hosted at the Sir Eric Gary Botanical Gardens on August 15th, organized by Honorary Consul for India to Grenada, Shadil Nayak Compton. The award ceremony, hosted by Dr. and Mrs. Singh of Punjabi Restaurant, recognized 5 local stalwarts who contributed selflessly in the areas of business, rural development, music, culture, sports, and education. Among those commemorated for the 75th anniversary celebrations were Grenadians Kenny Lalsin, businessman of rural St. Patrick's, for his investment and long-standing service to rural communities, business and politics in Grenada, and Beverly Steele, awarded in absentia for her literary excellence and outstanding contribution to education, India and Grenadian history, heritage, and culture. 2 of the awardees were from the Indian diaspora community. Pradyu Debnath for selfless service to the Indian diaspora and long-standing contribution to business, community, Indian heritage, and culture in Grenada, and Mohammed Salim Kagdi for selfless service and contribution to the Indian Muslim and business communities in Grenada. Also recognized was Guyanese-born educator Horace Bassad, an awardee for the Indo-Caribbean community, commended for his outstanding contribution to education and youth and long-standing service to the rural Indo-Caribbean communities in Grenada. Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell graciously presented the awardees with commemorative plaques with inscribed citations of their contribution and expressed his congratulations on behalf of the government of Grenada on the achievement of these awards. He urged the awardees and all Grenadians to continue to work together to build our country of Petit Martinique, Carriacou, and Grenada. Both Ministers Andel and Williams expressed their appreciation of the Indian community, and Minister Andel eloquently described the significant relationship between the 2 nations, stating he anticipates a strengthening of relations. Minister Williams spoke with passion about his personal relationship with the Indian diaspora community since his youth and the positive impact it made on his life, study habits, business, and work ethic. This concludes the local segment of the news as produced by Triple N. The sports is up next.
First, fast, and factual. You are totally covered by Triple N.
Now more than ever, Flow is working hard to keep you connected to the things that matter most. Your family, your work, and your favorite entertainment. We are also providing Flow Study free of charge so students can stay connected and up to date with their schoolwork. And because your safety is our highest priority, you can manage your account from the safety of your own home through the MyFlow app. We are here for you, keeping you connected.
Good day, sporting fans. I am your presenter, CJ. Regionally, in netball, by virtue of their outstanding play during the recent Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, England, Jamaica's Sunshine Girls have moved up a place in the World Netball's Global Rankings. The Sunshine Girls, who defeated world number 1 Australia and the number 2 New Zealand before losing to Australia in the final, have climbed their spot to number 3 in the world rankings released on Monday. Meanwhile, Barbados Gems failed to win a single match at the Commonwealth Games and have dropped 2 places to 14th in the rankings. Trinidad and Tobago, meanwhile, fell 1 place to 11th. According to World Netball, since the last WN World Rankings update published on March 1, 2022, many international test series and events have taken place, including the Pacific AUS Series, Europe Netball Open Challenge, COSANA Tri-Nation Series, Wales International Test Series, Netball World Cup 2023 qualifiers, Oceania, and most recently, the 30th matches at the Birmingham 2020 Commonwealth Games. Within the top 6 teams, Jamaica has moved up to 3rd in the world, whilst England has dropped to 4th. This comes after Jamaica made history at the Birmingham 2022 Commonwealth Games, making the first final and winning a silver medal. World Netball said the new rankings mean that world number 1 Australia, New Zealand 2, Jamaica 3, and England 4th will now be invited to compete at the NWC 2023. Uganda 6 will also be invited. They have also qualified through the world rankings due to South Africa 5 pre-qualifying as host. The Netball World Cup 2023 qualifier, Oceania, has already taken place with Tonga and Fiji qualifying to be invited by World Netball to compete at the event. Tonga finished unbeaten at both the Pacific AUS Series in March 2022 and the Netball World Cup qualifier Oceania in July 2022. On the international scene, in football, India's Football Association has been suspended by FIFA because of undue influence from third parties. The suspension means the Women's Under-17s World Cup, set to begin in the country on October 11th, will not take place as planned. India's highest court has disbanded the All India Football Federation IAFF in May and appointed a 3-member committee to govern the sport. FIFA's member federation must be free from legal and political interference. World governing body FIFA and the Asian Football Confederation AFC have met Indian football stakeholders and laid down a roadmap for the AIFF, which has to change its rules by the end of July and hold elections by 15 September. The suspension will be lifted once an order to set up a committee of administrators to assume the powers of the AIFF Executive Committee has been repealed and the AIFF administration regains full control of the AIFF daily affairs, FIFA added. FIFA is in constant constructive contact with the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports in India and is hopeful that a positive outcome to the case may still be achieved. And that's sports for you. I was your presenter, CJ. Thank you for listening.
After this commercial break, international news will be next on this station.
Now more than ever, Flow is working hard to keep you connected to the things that matter most: your family, your work, and your favorite entertainment. We are also providing Flow Study free of charge so students can stay connected and up to date with their schoolwork. And because your safety is our highest priority, you can manage your account from the safety of your own home through the MyFlow app. We are here for you, keeping you connected.
On the international scene, the U.S. Department of Justice said it opposes unsealing of the affidavit that prosecutors used to obtain a federal judge's approval to search former President Donald Trump's Florida home, where they seized classified documents. Here are the details.
The U.S. Justice Department said it opposes unsealing the affidavit used to search Donald Trump's Florida home. The affidavit allowed prosecutors to obtain a search warrant in order to seize classified documents from Mar-a-Lago, Trump's resort. The affidavit also contains evidence prosecutors used to demonstrate they had probable cause to believe crimes were being committed at Mar-a-Lago, which is the standard they had to meet to obtain the warrant. In recent days, Trump's Republican allies have ramped up calls to Attorney General Merrick Garland to unseal that affidavit and that evidence. But on Monday, prosecutors argued that its release could reveal so much more. In a filing, they wrote that disclosing the document could, quote, serve as a roadmap to the government's ongoing investigation, providing specific details about its direction and likely course in a manner that is highly likely to compromise future investigative steps. But the agency said it would not oppose the release of other sealed documents tied to the raid. On Friday, at its request, a federal court in South Florida unsealed several legal documents that showed FBI agents seized 11 sets of classified records from the Palm Beach resort. Some of those were labeled top secret, the highest level of classification. Those documents are usually kept in special government facilities because disclosure could damage national security. The Justice Department on Monday cited this as another reason to keep the affidavit sealed. Florida court also released the search warrant itself, which revealed the specific laws the DOJ was investigating violations of, including one that prohibits the possession of national defense information. Prosecutors on Monday also cited the recent violence and increasing threats against the FBI as another reason against releasing that document. On the same day the decision was announced to unseal the search warrant, an armed man with right-wing views tried to breach an FBI office in Cincinnati, Ohio. He was later shot dead by police following a car chase.
Staying in touch with what happens in the region means staying with Triple N. Congratulations on making the perfect choice.
Now more than ever, Flow is working hard to keep you connected to the things that matter most: your family, work, and your favorite entertainment. We are also providing Flow Study free of charge so students can stay connected and up to date with their schoolwork. And because your safety is our highest priority, you can manage your account from the safety of your own home through the MyFlow app. We are here for you, keeping you connected.
Welcome back to Regional Developments. In Trinidad and Tobago, the government has banned the export of scrap iron and old metals from Trinidad and Tobago. We get more in this report.
Drastic short-term measures. That's how Attorney General Reginald Armour described government's move to halt the export of scrap metal and explained it is meant to address rampant thefts and vandalism of property for copper and other valuable material.
Cabinet authorized the preparation of a prohibition order pursuant to Section 44 of the Customs Act to ban the exportation of old scrap metal and scrap metal generally.
The Attorney General noted the ordinary everyday lives of citizens have been negatively impacted by the thefts. He pointed to the loss of connectivity when TSTT's above ground and underground cables were cut and stripped of their copper.
And that prohibition order, I have to tell you, took effect on Friday, the 12th of August, and it is now in effect. And it will last for 6 months until the 23rd of February, 2023.
In explaining the latest move, the AG said the laws governing the export and theft of iron, copper, and non-ferrous material would be reviewed and brought up to date.
One of the other things that I have instructed the Law Reform Commission to do is to enhance and beef up the register system by which persons who trade in the industry will be required to keep a register of anybody that they are buying materials from.
The Attorney General said he would return to the Cabinet in 3 months' time with a review and analysis of the laws which need to be changed.
This wraps up the news produced by Triple N for today, Tuesday, 16th August 2022.
From many distant lands, our forefathers came, some seeking adventure, some bound in chains, has waged and fought through victory and pain. By test of their courage, our freedom was gained. In homage to those gone before us, the heroes of lands in the sun. into focus.
Welcome, brothers. Welcome, sisters. Welcome to our program On Target. And as usual, as soon as we start this program, you can pick up the telephone and give us a call. We never have a subject matter. We speak about anything: politics, religion, socio-economic issues, any topical issue trending. But most of all, you can interrupt us at any time and introduce your own subject matter. The number to call is 442-0175. You could use the direct line, you could use WhatsApp, and we'll always read out some of your posts. Your contribution is always an important thing for us in a democratic country. And sometimes we have to understand the country we live in. We're not in the Soviet Union. We're not in Iran. We're not in Cuba. We're in Grenada. And Grenada is a democratic country where we have election periodically and we have freedom galore. We have a responsibility to it. But the freedom that we have in Grenada is the envy of a lot of countries in the world. And we always have to remember, I always make use of Malcolm X quote. A lot of people just quote Malcolm X. This is how you see people walking around with a text in the Bible and pelting it around for their own convenience. So I do in mine for my convenience too. He said the media is the most powerful entity on earth. He said they have the power to make an innocent man guilty and a guilty man go free. He said that is power. And he said this power comes because the media control the minds of the masses. The communist countries that do not have freedom of the press, they recognize that. So you have propaganda destabilization, propaganda mobilization. Also, they even tend to have mass organization and mass group to indoctrinate with their views. And lock up counter-revolutionaries. In Grenada, we are very fortunate that the telecommunication network have been liberalized. But television in Grenada have license to perform. Some of them in and out. Some of them break down, start up, boss, come about. We have a lot of them with license to function. And we have to pay attention to them. We must pay attention to the media. Because the media can sensationalize issue. They could throw it out of groove. And if the media want to really develop the country, they could be pro-development. We have CARICOM. CARICOM is one of the longest sovereign integration movement in the world. Sometimes when you say that, people say all sorts of negatives. But for CARICOM to succeed, our people on the ground must want it to succeed, must understand that. The nations meet periodically and they pass all sorts of legislation, laws, and conditions to facilitate the process of integration. Cooperation among us, and to ensure the benefits of integration are equally shared. But we have to believe that. We have to believe that. We have freedom of movements, freedom of skills and labor. Some during Carnival, I hear people speaking, making one amount of noise about foreign music, as if they forget we are part of CARICOM countries. And one of the groups that have freedom of movements are entertainers and journalists and people with CARICOM skills certificate and people from the University of the West Indies who train a number category. So if you hear St. Vincent music in Grenada, nothing's wrong with that. As a CARICOM member and as a member of the media. You're supposed to take the lead in explaining to people that is good. Remember of CARICOM, freedom of movements, freedom of skills and talents. So if you hear St. Vincent music in Grenada, that is good. If you think you have a show and you want to judge only music from Grenada, put that as one of the requirements. So the DJ, when they pass in the judging points, or when they involve in the show, they get a musical. But when our journalists behaving as if they shock to hear so much of Vinci music, a Trinidad music, a Bajan music, a reggae music in Grenada Carnival, something has to be wrong with us. Our journalists must be in the forefront of CARICOM in integration movements. Look at what happened with Brexit. Whereas the young people in England was benefiting the most from Brexit. But when time to vote, they ain't going to vote. Those farmers and the people, they say, man, get rid of this Brexit issue. Even the politician that was advocating it just because they're in the opposition. Political shock. And Britain had to get out of Brexit. We in Grenada we have to, I think CARICOM ministers have to do more work to educate the rank and file. Opposition parties in the Caribbean have been doing a very bad job. When they're in opposition, they oppose CARICOM. When they're in opposition, they would not lift a finger to help CARICOM integration and the coming power. Particularly in St. Vincent, Trinidad, Grenada. You see, the opposition has been in the wilderness for the longest while. So they oppose everything. When they got an opportunity to run the country in 2008, because of turmoil, they didn't have time to support CARICOM. St. Vincent, the same thing. Pamela in Trinidad, the same thing. But we need to strengthen CARICOM. The war in Europe and the present world geopolitical situation should make us recognize the importance of a stronger CARICOM and integration movements and freedom of people. The population in Grenada is too low. So Grenada have to do more to attract people. The population in Barbados is too low. I heard Mia Motley speaking about NIS in Barbados in trouble among the years because CARICOM leaders fail to face the reality. I don't blame politicians so much. I kind of like that. But what happens is that the opposition, you have to find a way to pull the opposition outside and let them have their position on issues. And that is where our journalists fail us. Because our media takes so much of political side that when you're in opposition, they fail to find out what is your position on these fundamental issues. And I think the time has come when we need to change that. Every issue we have, we can't be attacking our Caribbean brothers and sisters. Grenada need people. We need about 20, 30,000 more people. All the talk here, a government might be talking. We have so much of play fields in this country. We don't have people to play. The play fields are lit up in the night. Well, what we're going to drink rum, we must have beer and etc. Sportsmen drinking alcohol like what? So you have to have more people. The same thing going on in Barbados. As for Dominica self, Dominica need about 50. Dominica have to import people now. Otherwise, eventually, the Chinese might be, they have no choice because here you meet a virgin country waiting for people. Dominica don't have people. Dominica had about 80,000 people. I wouldn't surprise they about 50 now. Grenada population has not risen over the last 70 to 80 years. Grenadian women hardly making children. And we have serious migration. The population has not risen since the devil was a little boy, 110,000 people. We must open our door to more integration movement in the Caribbean. When you hear music from St. Vincent, remember it's CARICOM country. It's a CARICOM member. So if St. Vincent music nicer, sing St. Vincent music and listen to it. If Barbados music nicer and you like it, no problem. We are all members of CARICOM. Grenada too small to survive in the international community seriously. So, sometimes I'm always pissed off with our economists. Anytime we have a serious economic situation, all of them shut them out. They lose their tongue. They come out in university, they bright, and they're afraid to interact with the ordinary man. Otherwise, you have corresponding bank financing, a whole challenge in the world today. And because of our small size, we need to come together, work together. This war between Russia and Ukraine should teach us a lot of lessons. You see how everybody forging for relationship? Europe and Russia now fighting for Africa. China fighting for Africa because they're looking for new bond, new partners, bilateral relationship. So we in the Caribbean have to forge a better relationship with CARICOM. So CARICOM could try to engage the other African countries and work together. We don't have enough money to establish embassies all over the world. But don't believe me. I don't want you readily believe me. Find out who is the Indian High Commission in Grenada. Find out if it's an Indian. I think Jerry Seal used to represent one of them countries, South Korea or one. Call on the line, color punch.
Hey, good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother punch.
Mr. Pierre, I hear you talk about them journalists. I consider some of them journalists as political journalists. And one thing I've seen is the journalists in Grenada, they could be outside Grenada, they don't really go out and to get information. Alright? Because sometimes they hear something and then they just say something and they put it on paper without no facts. But one thing that I could say, there was a editor of a newspaper, Lazy Pierre. Don't know what you could say about that man. But he makes sure you don't come and give him anything and he had no facts and put it on and he put it on his paper. Because when people set you up, they say come and tell you something. What they say about someone is not the truth, I'm gonna put it behind the people to you. So I believe you have to investigate what I say is true. I'm just saying there are some people that was working and up now they don't get paid and they were sent home. I want to let the government know. Yes, to send them home, but pay them whatever you pay them in the morning because they have children to go to school. They have children to go to school. They have uniform to buy. They have the school books. The school books. They need the money. They need the money. Alright? Yes, I understand that there's some people who go home, but they send them home. You should pay them whatever you owe them. So I want to say again. Many times when you hear people speaking of the hate, and I always say the Grenada and the Caribbean is one. They are one. Everywhere we go, you'll find Grenadian. You find every country will find Grenadian there and they're working. And yes, something happened, but then we have to know how to deal with situation. As I say, you cannot heap fire upon fire to quench something. Right? You have to deal with something the right way. And the law always should take its course. Because sometimes, better when people say when people beg they say things, after what they say, they regret. They regret it. Because in Grenada, you have a lot of Trinity. In Trinidad, you have a lot of Grenadian. And I say about one third of the population in Trinidad, they are Grenadian. So but we have to be very careful. Te- Control our temper control our temper. You know, they are saying that, okay, like, you better say anything, but then you have to be very careful what you said. And they were saying, whatever you said, you cannot take it back. If you apologize, but it already come out from your mouth, right? It already come out from you say, what the fellow man, he never go in, but what came out from him, right? So, Mr. Pierre, I want to say to the Ghanaian people and to the government, you promise the people that you're going to make it permanent. Because how the guy are trying to justify something yesterday, where he said, well, like NMP, they send home people. But you cannot justify a wrong with a wrong. And see, I say again, Mr. Pierre, listen that you promise someone something. But when the man promises me $400 and you offer $100, you're not going to say, me, boy, yes, I love Mr. Pierre, but you know what? And next man give me 400, I will take you $400. But when the man vote for the $400 and you get rid of him, it's not easy. It's not easy for that man to people to stomach that. Because they only vote for that because of the money. And that's something I can ask him to pay. I always see something like the Taliban, Al Qaeda. Yes, to get rid of leaders, but the young children, they are already groomed, they are already trained, and that they know definitely who are the enemy, and they go speak the same language. And because there are some of the people that in the government now, they have a hatred against some of NMP workers. And they know NMP workers working, they will do all out to go all out to get rid of them. But I always say the person getting rid of could be a cousin of yours, could be your son girlfriend, could be your son or daughter mother-in-law. Right? And I just say our government is there to make life much easier for the people of Greater Caribbean Peter Martin. Not make life difficult because not every country, not everybody gonna be working. The government has to look after people who are working. So Mr. Pay, I call upon the government, do what is right. And don't look at a man mistake and to repeat his mistake. So Mr. Pay, have a blessing.
Yes, thank you, Color. I think I'm going to take the point. You had about three, four good points there, powerful points. But I take the one with the journalists. Our journalists have to try to educate themselves more on character. Sometimes it's difficult. In all fairness to them, news is moving so fast these days that you have some social media. Call on the line. Caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, go right ahead.
Good afternoon to you listening nowadays on Facebook. Mr. Pierre, I was baffled yesterday to heard you said that the NMP had sent home, no, sorry, the NDC had sent home workers. They have given them letters and sent them home, Mr. Pierre? That's what it was saying yesterday?
Did you hear me reading out letters on the people?
I didn't hear that. Wait, I never said that.
Now, did you hear me reading out some?
I never said you read. Mr. Pierre, I'm saying I heard you said that workers was given letters and sent home. That's what I said here. So don't put words in my mouth, Mr. Pierre. Mr. Pierre, what I want to say. Mr. Pierre, if certain position are politically appointed, Mr. Pierre, don't you think the party now in power should look into those matters? Would you put someone who not abiding and siding with your policies and programs? Would you keep them near you? Huh? Would you do that? I think we are sending a bad message out there. And there was callers calling on the program yesterday saying that the government will fall and just matter of time. Mr. Pierre, this country is belonging to all of us. We have to build this country together. We need to work hand in hand. This man been running the country for 20-something years, almost 30 years. And I don't see him as an opposition leader. He should step down from the day the election had called and the result. The Prime Minister before should step down.
Why do you think he should step down, Color?
He had served his time.
Did he
expire?
You don't think what's about the people who selected him in the constituency? You have no respect for the principle of one man, one vote?
I respect the
Let me read that letter for you, Color.
Go ahead.
This is to certify that your temporary engagement with the ministry as a cook, engaged in the Christian David Child Development Center, has been terminated with effect from Monday, the 1st August 22. You will be paid 1 month salary in lieu of notice. The ministry thank you for your service over the years and wishes you all the best in the future.
Okay.
Caller.
Yeah.
Caller.
I'm listening.
The government during the campaign, the NDC party during the political campaign was dissatisfied that we had too much of workers on contract and temporary work. So they said loud and clear, they're going to make these workers permanent. Because while these people are temporary, they cannot go to the bank for a loan.
Right.
Caller.
Yes. I'm here.
The government just win election on the 23rd of June. The 24th was the official count. This letter has been written on the 25th of July. So this must come as a shock to some of the temporary workers. So every average Grenadian, ordinary rustic, particularly if you come from the lower socioeconomic strata, you ought to be concerned.
Right. So, Mr. Pierre, I understand what you're saying here. I understand. But are the positions politically appointed?
A cook?
Huh?
A cook?
I don't know. I'm asking. I might be wrong here.
But caller, you're wrong. This is low rank workers. This is not permanent secretaries. This is not managers. This is cook and cleaners.
Who was running, Mr. Pierre, who was running those same seed program with the cooks? No, wasn't a minister of government, education minister? Who was running that program?
You see, what you are saying.
I'm asking.
Caller,
yeah.
What you are saying that these people, because they work as cook and cleaners, we should not bother about them?
No. I'm not saying that.
What you're saying?
I respect the
Are you defending the government for sending them home?
No, I'm saying here. Once the work are not politically appointed, I don't have a problem. But if it's politically appointed, then I don't have a problem with it.
I thank you, my brother.
That's what I'm saying.
Thank you. You see, we read this letter yesterday. I said I had about 6, but I only read 3. I only read back one that I read, and I didn't read. I particularly read this one because you could well say this one is politics because I didn't come with the SRO. But I think this is what is important. And let me go to another point. Only 2 political leaders in Grenada. 2 political leaders in Grenada. Eric and Kit Mitchell. That it appears, it seems, and from historical perspective, always seek the interests of the ordinary man. Eric Matthew Gary built 28 schools in 13 and a half years. Land for the Landless program, technical education, Expo 69, and also St. George's University. And people have always identified him with the ordinary man. People used to say, Eric Gary make us wear nylon panty. That is telling you the depth of the ordinary rustic, the estate people who like Uncle Gary. And then Kit Mitchell in Grenada. Now, the National Democratic Congress have always been associated with attacking the ordinary rank and file. But because we have one among the bright Grenadians with certificate, they don't seek these people's interest. If you have a PhD, a master's degree, a doctorate, a lawyer, you normally don't care about these kind of people. And the National Democratic Congress come back in this 2022 when people give them a chance. And the first set of people they start to go behind is cooks, cleaners, people in community development. They attack the people on the road. They attack needy and greedy. But people still believe that change. And I think why the National Democratic Congress get all this support, because the Minister of Foreign Affairs, he publicly said, none of the old people with us. It's a brand new team. And you come back doing the same old thing. And people must not support that. You ought not to. We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome.
Yeah, Mr. Pierre.
Go right ahead, caller.
Yeah, the guys are a smart man. You always try to twist wrong thing. You know definitely that the man promised everybody permanent in Grenada, everybody getting a job in Grenada. You need to hear that. You know that. The commission never say everybody getting a job in Grenada. You know, in the campaign. He promised everybody getting permanent, everybody getting a job. So nobody's supposed to be going home.
When you're speaking,
money, they go home.
When you're speaking the truth, you fear no one. The truth
Because
defense
last
stand
time
with
that
this.
money go home, you're supposed to keep them, you're supposed to send them home, you're supposed to keep them even though the contract up because you forget you getting rid of contract and everybody getting permanent grader. So that's what he's looking for when the job is on him. That's what he's looking for. Everybody, see, look at when you put the point, they could get rid of you because you put their point. But the man never say everybody, and everybody mean everybody in grader. You know when I put the point, everybody getting permanent in grader and everybody's supposed to have a job in grader. That's what he said. And that's what he man when you explain the gender twist you wrongly bush and say, oh, you have a point and send home to you. But in that point, the point is that you said everybody will get a job, and that is the bottom line. Take care, Mr. Pierre.
You see, truth, you don't have to waste time with truth. Just speak the truth. That's all. Now, people who are in the Imani program must be squeaking in the boots. They must be squeaking in the boots now. The government said in 2008, we're going to raise the Imani P because they're getting, when people started to say to them, this is the best program that has been instituted in Grenada in the last 100 years. Why are you against the program? They said to raise the P. They closed on the program. They fired the majority of Imani. Now this time they say they're going to make the people permanent. And within 1 month after election, before parliament meet, we ought not to be discussing this issue. You start to get rid of people already. After the National Democratic Congress reached the first month pay, political and economic shock take them. When they get the pay, they get bazzled in. They immediately start to campaign to justify to the public why they should raise politicians' salary. After the first month, they sat down for all these years and listened to the Prince of Hate. Tell them how much money the NNP ministers was making. So they believe that. And after the first month pay, economic and life shock take them. The journalists that was propagating it, they felt so shame that when the government said press conferences will be done on a need-to-know basis, they agreed. The hardcore reality is the people from the lower echelons of society are the ones you're attacking. Well, who is going to speak for them if I don't open my mouth on this program? A lot of the journalists, as the caller said, they are political. A caller on the line. Caller, welcome.
Yeah, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller.
You know, because I'm saying, okay, look, the people that work and get and but then you have a kind of registration. It's all around a amount of money the minister getting, the minister receiving. And 1 month they came in and they see the salary. It's a complaint. They want to raise a pay. And the government say you look into it. The prime minister say look into that. Why he don't look into the workers who went home and they don't get a salary? Right? Because I'm saying you get a salary. But there are people who went home, right? And they don't receive a salary. So you should look into that before you go and thinking about minister should get more money. Right? So I am saying, Mr. Pierre, yes, everybody needs increasing salary. Everybody needs. But then I always say, if a man working, and then there's some who work and they receive the salary, you have to look into those who work and didn't get the money. Pay them for, pay them because they need the work. You know that matter they didn't work because if they work, they should get paid because it's still a trend where some people didn't work and you decide to pay them, and then you have people who work and they up know they can't get the money and they didn't work. This is not fair. This is unfair.
Yes, caller. I just want to read some message from Onisto Marquez. Do you know the reason for that letter? Once again, the reason for the letter. He wants me to respond to him, and I will. Was it Imani being sent to? Well, the letter states that they thank the people for the job, and they say to them, you have to leave. They gave, in some instances, they quote SRO 2770, I think 74 to 6. In other instances, no SRO was quoted. They were given 1 month pay in lieu of notice. Now, the next question you're asking, was it Imani sent home? I said Imani must be squeaking in the boots because it's the Imani they want, you know. They have attacked the Imani relentlessly. I have been advocating on a number of people that the Imani program is the best program that have been instituted in the last 100 years in Grenada to address the challenges young people have of the competitiveness on the job market. But this whole program is one of the programs the NDC and the trade union against the most. Yes, color punch.
Yeah,
Yes,
Mr.
color.
Good afternoon. How are you doing?
Punch color.
Yeah, I tell you good afternoon.
Yes, color. Go right ahead.
Yeah, you said something a while ago, like the NDC cannot change, and them are the same whatever. The NPLM could change.
Did I say you could quote me, color?
You say they cannot change,
Okay,
and them are the same. They are doing the same thing because they never sell nobody. People leave the job before they have to get out. Some people leave the job because they cannot do the job, and now I mean, they fire their own self. They talk. You know?
Thank you, color.
No, I don't finish as yet.
Oh, let me read this letter for you.
Yeah, well, give Jockey.
You want me to read this?
Pakistan never fire nobody. Some of them fire their own self. You check? So if you cannot drive your van on the road, that you will drive it because you cannot drive. Now, I mean, the Pakistan did not fire nobody. They have fired their own self themselves. Eh? Because the same thing and the same thing, they can't change and they can't change. The president could change what they used to get this, but they cannot get it again. So they're angry. Go on Falkland and go and plant potato. Go on Falkland and go and plant potato, corn and peas and feed breadfruit and coconut. I don't kill yourself. Leave the young man alone. Leave Mr. Deacon alone. Leave him alone. I defend him. I took bad man on him.
Yes, Colin. Very interesting. He's a very interesting, and I like to hear you, Cultureman. And I always welcome you. We have some facts that would not go away. And it will be a very good thing for the National Democratic Congress to clear up some issues so the supporters are not misled. Loud and clear. One of the biggest campaign promises, we're going to make you permanent. The rationale, the justification, the reason for that is that you cannot go to the bank. You don't have permanent job. The trade union was jumping on that issue. Now you have people which we call low-rank workers. Workers, and these letters I've been reading out are only from Carriacou. This is to certify that your temporary engagement with the ministry as an assistant community officer has been terminated with effect from Monday the 1st August. You will be paid 1 month's salary in lieu of notice. Your termination is due to your direct contradiction of section 7416 of SR 27 of the rules governing the public service. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes. Thank you very much for the guideline. No, let me say something. I am one individual in this country here who has been suffering for over 40 years since the downfall or the demise of the People's Revolutionary Government. I have been tortured. I think I did explain all of this to you before. No, we are here in a present situation. We had a government, and I myself personally had supported that NNP government in 1995. That past Prime Minister can tell you that the night of his swearing in, I was at the Sugar Roundabout when he came there as an ordinary citizen to purchase his fish and chicks and whatnot. and we embraced each other. And what I did say to him, as one who had come from prison, who had prayed for the downfall of the People's Revolutionary Government, that he should not follow the track of a holiday, and that he should do a cleanup campaign drive. Now, this current government, NDC, is a new initiative, and only 1 month or so they are on, and I see nothing wrong with any letter that is being presented to anybody. As a matter of fact, as Cultureman pointed out, go and plant Fig, Blogo, and Tanya, and Dashin, and whatnot. Food. War is fighting in Ukraine, and we cannot. Hey man, I am in a wheelchair. I just made 5 bags of coals. Why and how come? I'm in a wheelchair. You'll be surprised to see me operating in my land in a wheelchair.
Why you want to color?
I am sitting down in the road, in the middle of the road, that where potholes were there for the past 30 years. As a matter of fact, I am looking at some kitchen cupboard material that is standing, that was planted after 2004. That Hurricane Ivan, planted after 2004, and it's still standing here, and the road is deteriorating. How come the Molyneux Road, oh God, the Prime Minister there for so long, the whole people, the majority of people support him year after year, election after election, and that Molyneux Road crashed down? Man, it's a burning shame. Mr. Pierre, I am only asking you, please, bring issues to the table so that we could.
Color, on my program, you could always introduce your own issues. When the revolution took place, you know what happened? A lot of people stayed silent. They said, this was threatened. So he went to Cariconi's rocking chair, and he never lifted a finger when Kenny Lals sin, old GNP, and Dr. Japal was arrested. When Dr. Japal was arrested, the soul of the revolution died. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr.
Yes,
Pierre,
scholar, welcome. Yeah, great,
nice
man.
Listening to you again. Mr. Pierre, I don't see why you have to accommodate these people who is talking negativity to the Grenadian people. What they are saying, they just defending someone, defending to suit their own cause. But as far as I'm concerned, what is said about the people losing their job, it's true. I have one young lady next to me. Apparently, she told me to call her name, but I just said no, I won't call it over the air. She has 7 children, and I bet Carriacou people know who I'm talking about. She has 7 children. She was walking on the road, cleaning drains.
She got a letter?
I didn't ask her if she have a letter.
Find out if she have a letter.
Ask her tonight.
And if she have a letter, you could rearrange and post the letter to her.
I will do that then.
Because when we speak, we want to speak with a sense of authority.
Exactly.
So it would shatter some people who sit down and watching these things.
Because Mr. Pierre, what Keith Mitchell done for we Grenadian people, NDC couldn't do it. NDC go there and they couldn't manage the job. Within a few years, they have to step down. Within a few months, we've seen pressure what the NDC is doing. When they get in all the local people who is working on the road, the minimal people, these are the people who support the local shop. When they haven't got a job, the people who have local shop, they're suffering. The people who get in the rank and file, who get in big money, they jump on a plane and they're going abroad and do shopping. The local people cannot go abroad and do shopping. They depend on the local shop. So I don't know what happens sooner or later. The people from the diaspora depend on big barrel for their family, and instead they go sell it. They go sell this stuff from the barrel to the local people. And what happens? And the local shop will suffer again. So tell these people to stop quarreling and stop complaining. NDC, as far as I'm concerned, they voted for NDC. They know why they voted for NDC, right? NDC have a pattern. They like a leopard that cannot change its spot. So if they want to carry on like Cultureman defending NDC and this other guy, they don't know what they're talking about. Let it go on and support Deacon. Because as far as I'm concerned, he's not doing nothing right here. The people and them is suffering. I remember 2008. The policeman was crying. They was crying out. When you look at the shoes in their foot, their toes was outside. They didn't have no money to buy anything. Because of Kit Mitchell, every little child rise up. Because of Kit Mitchell, mothers could look after their family. Fathers looking after their family. But this government come now, these people are crying, and it's a crying shame to know that they just get into power and they do this sort of thing. And they carry do the same thing like Tillman Thomas was doing. Shame on all you, NDC. Shame on all you. You tell us to go and to tell them to go and work land, go and plant food in the land. When Tillman was there, he tell them the people in Carrick go and plant what is it, ginger, onions. Go and plant onions in
Carrick used to produce onions and groundnuts and etc. So as part of agriculture, politicians will always encourage people to do little backyard gardening. So
yes,
nothing is wrong.
I don't mind you saying it in the right way.
Yeah, yeah.
What was saying it now? They're saying that you don't want that. Go in the land. Go and do certain work. Do you think the rank and file who have big money and they're getting a big wages will go back to the land? They wouldn't do it. During the old days, I remember my grandparents used to tell us, oh God, try and get a better job because working in the field is very hard. But today, working in the field, it is nice working in the field. But at the end of the day, you don't do that. You don't do that to the poor people. They work very hard. Right now, Bush is killing people. They will soon get the prisoners to cut the bush. Mr. Pierre,
No, that's not possible. You cannot use prisoners to do that. There's some laws in the country. You can't use prisoners.
And remember the people, because remember, every hungry mouth has to be fed. Every hungry mouth is supposed to be fed. And that was the motto of the new National Party, to feed the low-class people, the lower one, who is depending that they can't get $1. You tell them, go to your work, go to your day work, and do the little work outside. That will help them and their family. So that's what they should have done.
Yes,
you take care, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, thank you. You see, it's very important to raise this issue because it seems the new policy of the government is information will be on a need-to-know basis. And if the journalists in Grenada, they turn photogenic, they have a colony line. Caller, welcome.
Hello?
Yes, caller, welcome. Yeah.
Hello?
Welcome, caller. Hearing you loud and clear.
Hi, I'm trying to get you off on my system because I want to be clear.
What you need, maybe not to listen to the radio in the back.
I'm cutting you off. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Yeah, so this one yeah. So you see, as I said before, when the revolution take place, the revolution had all the good intention. But a number of Grenadians prefer to say, let's give them a chance and see what they're going on. So Tillman Thomas, when he visited the guys in prison, he said, you all must do something to be there. They said, we didn't do nothing. But he didn't agree with them. And later on, when he came down in prison, they asked him what to do. Call up, punch. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, good afternoon.
Go right ahead, call up, punch.
All right, this is Brenda Batiste. I always want to let people know that I am the one speaking.
Yes.
So I have been listening over the past couple of days and all of that to phone calls about ordinary Grenadian citizens who seem to have not have their jobs anymore and concerns they may be having for their welfare. And I want to address it from that point of view. I am not interested in the political discussion about who say they will send who home and who say they wouldn't send who home and all of that. What I am picking up, because I've heard similar discussions across similar radio stations and so on, with people calling in about some of the things being raised. And what is startling and very disappointing and regrettable is the responses we fellow Canadians are having. Now, our political suasion or sexual suasion or religious suasion, that is part of our lives. That is who we are. That should not stop us empathizing and caring for each other. On one medium yesterday, somebody called and said, listen, I used to do the bushing, yada, 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 and you can see it was germane because the man, he was clearly seeking information. I used to do the bushing, yada, yada, yada. I haven't heard anything. school is opening, what would happen? A number of callers after the man just came after him. One team, what you think? Go and look for work, NNP gone. Okay. Yesterday, I heard you, and I heard a man saying, well, it's just a cook. They could send her home. That cook might have 5 mouths waiting to feed. Huh? 5 mouths. You see? A while ago, a gentleman called. He says he's in a wheelchair. God bless him. And he has the wherewithal and the strength and the will that he can do it. But somebody else don't have that will, even with all their physical and mental capacities. They don't have the drive. They don't have the know-how. You understand? We talking about teach a man to fish. Yes, we could probably do that, the guy in the wheelchair. But there's another person so hungry, he needs to fish right now. You can't even teach him. Because if you're willing to teach him, it might be between the difference between life and death. And that is what we need to understand. And if we as ordinary people cannot be like that, cannot be caring, cannot be compassionate, cannot be loving, our politicians, our leaders come from us. So you see all this thing you hear here about carrying on, that reflects us. And that is the troubling part. We can only as well as the least among us. And if we decide, right, that the cook, who the hell is the cook? Who the hell is the man under the ocean? If we start to take those attitudes, my God, that's all I want to say. Thank you.
Yes, scholar. Thank you, Dr. Fresh. The number to call is 4420175, and also WhatsApp us too. We'll read your post. We will read every now and then. We will read a post. Somebody saying that is deceitfulness, but there is nothing new on the NDC. You see, I believe that the party is in the right time to change their attitude. I think they have been misled by preparing a pre-list, green list that we call it. The election was on the 23rd. On the 24th, you have the official swearing in. There is no justification for the National Democratic Congress to come with anything less but than an open mind. This is what you told people. You said to them, we have none of the old crew, none of the old stock. We don't want them in the front line. We have a new face. 9 people that run the country now. These 9 people never sat in parliament before. Never sat in the law house before. Never was in cabinet before. You sell this newness to the public. Now, where you get this? Now, don't tell me between June 24th and July 25th, you were able to call these workers and say you're not performing. Your performances, able to warn them and justify getting rid of them. This is the point. But since the gentleman talked about the revolution, this was the problem with the revolution. The people supported the revolution, even if it was illegal. And immediately Maurice Bishop started jailing people. And they say, okay, well, he had to jail the counters. So when he finished jailing counters, and Kennedy Boudlal was helping him jail counters, then they jailed the old GNP, and they jailed Kennedy Boudlal, and then they jailed Maurice Bishop, and they executed people on a foot. Maurice Bishop refused to turn his back. One soldier didn't have the guts to shoot him. Another one grabbed the gun. So what's wrong with him? And shared the bullets. People were castrated. You don't have to believe me. Go in Grenville Port. Ask him how you castrated a pig. And he said you put balls and you put salt. They say we got to add pepper too. You have a government that just comes in power. As soon as government got the first paycheck, police and economic shock to them. So they start to cry for more money for themselves. They know how they feel when they got the first paycheck. So how could you feel comfortable and telling me it's just a cook? Yes, Carl, welcome.
Yeah. Brenda's a crook.
All right, Carl. That is the power of our democratic process. Once we keep it respectable, we permit you on our program. You see, we have to stand up and say, no, what is the justification? If it was 6 months down the road, you'd just say, well, maybe these people are not functioning. You caller, welcome. Yes, caller, punch.
Yes, Mr. Pierre.
Yes,
Let me
caller.
tell you.
No.
Caught up
Yeah.
in their political shenanigans. I am a Grenadian. I have no time for this. I've never ran for office. I'm not interested in office. I am Brenda Batiste. I shall respond to anything that I choose to respond to. If you notice, when I started my conversation, I told you I am not interested in the political shenanigans. I am not. What my point is about us and our attitude towards each other. However, these people lost their jobs, right? That's one discussion. How we are responding to it, that's my problem.
Yeah.
You see, all of a sudden, everybody get their knickers so twisted in green and yellow, right? That we're all losing ourselves. You see? Yeah. So some of you don't even know who I am. So what's your green and your yellow business? You see? Because I really don't care. Thanks for your time, Mr.
Yes, as the discussion gets heated, we could get passionate. It's nice to have passionate discussion. And this subject is passionate. The older folks in Gary time say, Gary, make me no nylon panty. Imagine people saying that. That is to tell you the depth of the effect the Gary revolution had on ordinary people. Some people used to speak with passion. They said the only thing that's important is certificate. And parents will beat you. They're beating out all the bad blood in you to get certificate. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother, welcome.
I heard you keep saying that the new government, the 9 MPs have no experience. They have not performed before.
Caller. Whenever you quote in Fisher's statement, the 9 people that is in parliament today, it is the first time they have been in the lower house. They never was politician before. They never win a seat before. They have no experience in political power. Caller, you have your opinion. Remember, caller,
in government.
When you're a PS, you're a public officer. You're not a politician.
Government. Who calling the shot for the ministers? Not the PS. The most of the decisions that are making in government is the PS, you know. All the minister does is advise and coordinate, you know. The PS, so they have experience, Mr. Pierre. Hearing them was also in the upper house. Ron Red was in the upper house. So you cannot say they don't have experience, Mr. Pierre.
Thank you, caller. Yeah, we always have to respect one another's opinion. And I always say I express my opinion in subject matters once I'm comfortable with it. But opinions are not facts. They are opinions. It's the first time we have 9 members. First time you have 9 members in the House that have first experience they have in the lower house. They never run for election before. And it's the first time you have 6 members in the opposition, and all of them have won the seat before. A unique position. The closest that came to 9-6 was in 1976. And being a public officer is different from being a politician. When you're a public officer, you're under the rules of the public service. And you know, these are things I wouldn't want to go back and find on it. You know? But it's very important, and it's a very interesting conversation, and nothing wrong with a little hyper. We just have to make sure that we continue to respect one another. I know some people want to defend the deacon. It is not necessary at the time to defend the deacon. not attacking the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is brand new. We expect he's going to make some mistake. But when fundamental challenges come on, we're going to take him on. I'm not going to take him on little petty mistakes. But when you go in after the people of the low socio-economic strata, without what seems to be justification, when you pick up a green list, when you pick up a green list, when you pick up a green list and you decide to go out and go after individual, I think it's unfair, and some of us are going to raise our voices or voice on it, including me. Yes, scholar. Yeah. As we boil down and come to the end of our program here, we will have to. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Look, at almost the end of August, I cannot get paid. I have 5 children to feed and send to school. My first year contract is terminated, and I'm not getting the other rest month pay. So what people talking about? This is another post I'm reading from Facebook, from WhatsApp. One of the WhatsApp posts. You see, trying to manage the technology is not that easy. I come from the old stock and not well versed in technology. Yes, caller, welcome. Yeah. So that's it. So we raise this issue. We have a caller. We will continue to speak about fundamental issues. You hear me speak about oil and jab, and I'm not against the Prime Minister at all. I welcome it. But I'm speaking about oil. And now I'm speaking about individuals who lost their job. And we come to the end of our program today, and we want to thank all those who made contribution, even the passionate ones, even those who recommend that we should go and plant potato. We welcome you on our program. Thank you very much.
In homage to those gone before us, the heroes of lands in the sun, we vow to join hands and to focus on building one Caribbean. Raise your voices high, sing up your Caribbean pride, sing it loud and strong, feel our hearts beat as one. Celebrate in song as we rise to heights where we belong. Sound the victory drum for Caracom. The great and diverse be our ethnicities. The bonds that unite us are stronger than these. We dine, we pray, we love. We dance and we play. We relate to each other. Rest in Yahweh. Today as a people united as one. Determined and steadfast we stand. We look to a brand new horizon. The future now firmly in our hands. Raise your voices high and sing of your Caribbean pride. Sing it loud and strong. Feel our hearts beat as one. Celebrating song as we rise to heights where we belong. Sound the victory drum for Caracom.
Triple M. Informative, entertaining, and first. Every hour on the hour.
This is the latest news update produced by Triple N. Details when we get back.
Introducing the Grenlec mobile app. You can now get your bill balance and easily track energy usage for your home or business. Report and receive alerts about power outages. Plus, stay up to date by receiving the latest notifications. Yes, the Grenlec app keeps you connected anytime, anywhere. The Grenlec mobile app. Download for 24/7 access.
Welcome back. Locally, government works on the distribution of the Chinese low-income housing. In the region, in Trinidad and Tobago, more than 100 families were relieved of the added worry of providing school supplies for their children for the coming year. We get more in this report.
For most families, it would be reassuring not to have to face the mad rush for school supplies and knowing that your precious offspring would have every book, pencil, and pen that they need. And that is the case for more than 150 families in South Trinidad.
And we're looking after about 163 kids this year. Our other sister, actually, Lisa Lee, is the education coordinator, and she literally contacts the parents of each child individually, gets their book lists individually, gets their T-shirt sizes individually, and makes sure they know when things are happening.
Ms. Lee adds, the Bright Future TNT Foundation intends to support each student throughout the year in every aspect of their lives.
So as simple as this is, the research has shown it is a phenomenal impact. So it's really important for us not just to give books, but to make sure that we are kind of interacting in the heart of their lives, really. And it's fun.
Some of the members of the group grew up in the Bandu Trace St. Madeleine area and decided to give back to the community. And their plan is to keep the venture going and expand the initiative.
Our hope is that this plot right here is going to be like a back to evening class, like a Boys and Girls Club, where they can come in the evening. We're going to pay teachers to teach them their homework, but also give them something to eat.
The foundation members say the aim of the initiative is to give these students the brightest future possible.
Around the globe, Ukraine called for new sanctions on Russia and highlighted the risk and consequences of a catastrophe at Europe's biggest nuclear plant, where fresh shelling nearby has reignited a blame game between both sides. Here are the details.
Ukraine's president called for new sanctions against Russia on Monday, as he warned of the consequences of a potential catastrophe at the Zaporizhia nuclear plant. Shelling near the plant, Europe's largest, has caused widespread alarm, with the World Nuclear Watchdog warning that there could be a disaster if the fighting does not stop. New satellite imagery released by Planet Labs purports to show the aftermath of shelling near the plant, which Russia seized in March. Ukrainian and Russian-installed officials have traded accusations over who is responsible for the attacks. In a late-night Monday address, Volodymyr Zelensky called for Russia's nuclear sector to be sanctioned.
If a terrorist state allows itself to completely ignore the international community's demands, and furthermore, on such a sensitive topic, this clearly indicates the need for immediate action. Any radiation incident at the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant can be a blow to the countries of the European Union, Turkey, Georgia, and countries from more distant regions. Everything depends only on the direction and strength of the wind. If Russia's actions lead to a catastrophe, the consequences may hit those who yet remain silent.
And in sports, Manchester United could let Cristiano Ronaldo leave Old Trafford during the current transfer window amid concerns about how the striker's mood is affecting the morale in the camp. This ends the latest update of news. Thank you for listening.
Triple N. Informative, entertaining, and first. Every hour on the hour. Get lost in a sea of musical nostalgia by flooding your ears with the best music on Real FM.
Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited presents its 90th anniversary Best Kept Kitchen Garden Competition. Get involved, complete the forms, and send us your photos of your kitchen garden. Show the judges how you grow your produce. The person with the best kept kitchen garden in each parish will win $900. That's right, $900. Competition ends September 17th, 2022. Entry forms and details can be found on our website at www.grenadacoopbank.com and our social media pages. Enter now and make your parish proud. Special terms and conditions apply.
Welcome home.
we got the call on our way home that something was wrong. When we got here, we saw that the entire house was engulfed in flames. Just sitting there and looking at basically your whole life investment going up in flames. It did take a toll on us as a family. Once we decided to rebuild, the thought came up to use the Housing Authority of Grenada. After this